Hello everyone, my name is Mary, and today I have a current energy message for the next few weeks. And this is coming at you on December 3rd. I'm recording this on December 3rd, 2022. And the current energy message that I have for you today is moving out of darkness into light. And so the message is that I received, that I've been prompted to share, has to do with the tarot cards and the major arcana. The major arcana is the soul's journey, and the card in particular that that I've been guided to talk about, to share about, is this one. And this is where we are currently in our lives and in the human collective. So this is not a happy place to be. I know, and especially at Christmas time. It's December, the lights are up everywhere. Everybody's in the Christmas spirit. We certainly don't want to see this in our lives. We don't want to see this, but we have to. This is kind of what the message is. We have to bring our light to this. We can't just stop our evolution and just sort of like, okay, I've gone far enough. Let's just turn off the car. We're just going to sit here in the middle of the road and not move forward anymore. That's not what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to move through everything that we've been dealing with. We're supposed to evolve and see. And I think the reason why so much stuff has been happening and just pummeling us over and over and over, all these dark things that are being revealed, dark things that are just sort of popping out here and there, like just stories and things that have been happening and things that are just being revealed. And I think the reason all that is happening, these dark things are just popping up, is because we need to look at our collective shadow. We need to acknowledge this. And so before I move forward talking about the devil, I want to talk a little bit about the major arcana and the journey of the major arcana, because this is a really important part of the tarot, and it symbolizes the soul's journey, the hero's journey, our journey. And so I have it, I'm going to show you just a second. I've got the whole major arcana sort of like laid out in front of me. And so you can't see it, but I can. I'm not going to go through every single card, but in general, it starts with the Fool and ends up with the World. So you start off as naive, you don't know anything, you're ready to just, take that step, and wherever it leads, that's where it leads. And you have no map, you have no baggage, you've got no preconceived notions of anything, you're not bringing anything with you, you're just going forward, naive and innocent. And then you end up here, also filled with innocence and purity, but knowledge and wisdom and truth that you've learned, that you've accumulated, you've realized inside yourself. You don't need all the other stuff, you realize. You are in what God consciousness or unity consciousness or Christ consciousness. That's how I see this one. And the journey to get there involves all these different steps. And so you start off with the Magician and the High Priestess, and then you get to the Empress and the Emperor, the Hierophant, the Lovers show up. So we've got some really interesting cards, and then things get a little, they start to get a little strange, I think, around the Wheel of Fortune card, because this one really shows you, this is number 10, and at number 10, things get like, okay, this is something big is happening here. You realize you're connected to the whole entire cycle of things that are happening. It's not just you doing your individual thing anymore. The Wheel of Fortune shows you that there's something bigger that you're a part of. And this deck, the Rider-Waite-Smith, and this is the Smith Centennial, in the symbols in between the word Torah or tarot, on the wheel are the symbols for the name of Yahweh. So it's kind of important and symbolic that there's something bigger going on. And then you get Justice, and the Hanged Man. And then things get hard. This is when the difficult stuff starts. Death. Death shows you that there's something that needs to be cleared away, that there's a part of your life or something or a dream of yours or something that you've been doing, something you've been interacting with in your life. It doesn't mean death of you or a person in your life. Death symbolizes a portion of your inner being that you have been relying on, and that portion, it could be your job, it could be how you have identified yourself, whatever it is, it needs to be cleared away. But then we get a respite in the Temperance, and that to me is really special because it's an angel, and the angel, I'm pretty connected to the angels. I feel very connected to them. And so this is like a beautiful sort of like, okay, here's where you're going to be. You're going to be balanced. You're going to be on the narrow path. You're going to be, here's where you need to stand. The angel is showing you 1 foot on land, 1 foot on water. So that's sort of like, we're part divine, we're part human, we're, spiritual beings having a human experience. This is this balance we're looking for. And then the card that I wanted to talk about comes into play, the Devil card. The Devil card is all about, this is all about the shadow. This is all about the stuff that keeps you locked and chained to your lower nature. This is the stuff you don't want to look at. This is the stuff you want to ignore. This is the stuff that, things pop up in your world that you're like, oh, I didn't see that, like I'm just going to ignore that, and just go along my merry way. And you just don't want to see this. And we have to see it. You have to look this guy in the eyes. You've got to see this, because this guy here keeps you chained to your lower natures. It keeps you a slave to the world. And we don't want to be a slave to the world. And early on in the tarot, earlier, we saw this card, which is very similar in composition. Sorry about the glare. I'm going to try to get that. Yeah, so it's very similar in composition. You have a higher dimension. So you have a being. Here you have an angel. Here you have a demon or the devil. So light, dark. And when you are following light, when you have yourself committed to light, you can create beautiful things with the Lovers. You can give yourself a beautiful world. And in this one, when you are following and, giving into your lower nature, you are chained, you are slave. And so it's interesting to see how they are similar. But after this, you might think, okay, after the Devil card, which is 15, 16 should be something a little bit less awful. But the next one is this one, the Tower card. And that, to me, the journey is that once you've seen the devil, once you've seen this darkness, then part of your world just has to necessarily come crumbling down. So if you see, for example, the devil existing in some part of your life, like some of the foods you eat or the things that you do, or your job is not fulfilling you, or maybe you're working for a company that's, going against your values, or maybe your own life, how you live your life is not in accordance with your values, Once you've seen the devil, at work in your life, somehow, this is what necessarily must happen next, is that some things have to come crumbling down. And I think from a lot of the stuff that's been coming up in the news, and you can like cover your ears and say, nope, I don't hear it, I don't see it, or you could just dive into this and say, yeah, I'm going to see that, and I'm going to allow it. I'm going to allow what I see to lead to this, a destruction of some part of my world. And here's the good thing. What comes next? Because there's only 5 cards next after this. Only 5 more. And 3 of them, I'm going to try to pick these up together, are what I call like the unity cards. You're unified with the elements. We've got, how can I hold these so you can see them? We've got the star, the moon, and the sun. And these cards are celestial bodies. They're heavenly bodies. They symbolize, in my view, creation. The best of creation. The highest and best of creation, the bodies that are governing our lives. The light. This is light here. This is not just, talents and skills that we're developing along our soul's journey. This is like the heavenly bodies. These are the this and the sun certainly is a source of light and life to us all. And so once you move into this area, you're starting to see yourself as unified with God's creation. You're seeing yourself as one with these things, and you're in flow with these things. You're receiving energy from God through God's glorious creation, which is what you are, which is what we all are. We all are this. And so if we want to reach this, especially by Christmas time, the thing we have to do is get past this guy. We have to we have to, I'm not sure. I'm looking at the camera here on my screen and it's not mirrored. So, so we have to go through this guy first. We have to see this before we can realize this in truth and completeness and fullness and wholeness. Because this person here, at the end of the journey, who is connected to God, and these four beings here symbolize a lot of different things. They have an astrological symbolism, but they also symbolize the four gospel writers. So the good news of God, Christ consciousness. The world symbolizes a connection to your source and substance, which is God, which is this unity consciousness. This person isn't closing her eyes. She hasn't put anything in the cellar or in the back of her mind or something she's just not going to look at. And everything's good if I don't look at that thing. But we have to be able to see this stuff. We have to be able to see it, but know that God has a plan, and it's our job to see it and to bring our light to it. Our job is to see this and yet at the same time know that we have the light of God within us. And Christ is coming to show us, to prove to us, to give that to us again. And let this be born in us so that this is easy to overcome, so that we can see, when we see this stuff come up in our lives, we can go, yeah, I've got that. I can overcome it. We can overcome it together. We are united. We are the light of God. And God will guide us, and God is going to move us into this unification space. But I think very strongly that we're in a space in our lives, and it keeps coming into my mind, this Balenciaga thing recently, with their ad campaign that had like child BDSM implications. Like that's something, they're hoping that we'll just, I didn't see that, oh, you didn't mean it, good. Okay, good. We're all good. No, you got to see this. You got to see this guy wherever he is, wherever he shows up in your life, in the world. But the important thing is to know that we have help. We have help. Who was the one that showed up right before him? This guy. The angel. The angels are with us, and their message is that this is special. This battle, we're not fighting this battle all alone. We're not fighting this devil guy just all by ourselves, all by our lonesome, No, we have a whole legion of angels helping us, guiding us. The ruling angel of the world right now is Michael, Archangel Michael, whose job it is to help us overcome all of this stuff. And so we're ready for it. The time is now. We are ready. Fill yourselves with light, arm yourselves with God, and go after this in your own life first, and then out there wherever you see it. And one of the decks that I have that is really, the devil card in this deck is really quite amazing. It really drives my point home, that the fact that we have to look this guy right in the eye. So it's the Morgan Greer Tarot, and the devil card in this deck is phenomenal. It really is. Wow, that's huge. You can't miss it. I mean, it's not a whole story here. It's a face. It's just the face. You're just looking at this awful, ugly, scary face, and you can't look away. You have to see it. You have to see it. And then that leads to this stuff where you're just going to be like, all right, we're going to let it go. We're just going to let it fall. We're going to let it fall. And we're going to know that what's coming up next for us is this stuff here, is unification with what God has created. Unification. With light, with the light of God. God has given us so much light in our hearts, in our worlds. And this is all about finding the light in ourselves, in the world, in God, in Christ, whatever guru you follow, whatever angels you're tuning into, whatever divinity means to you, tune into that, and let's go forth and conquer. And the last two cards in the journey of the soul is Judgment, which is salvation. It's rising up from this place of death and pain that we've been living in, and allowing ourselves to be up-leveled, brought out of pain and suffering and into the world of the realm of the angels. And then we come to the world, which is the end. God, unity consciousness, that's what that is. So I hope that was helpful. My prayer for you is the same prayer I've got for me and everyone. I pray that we all have the strength and the fortitude, the perseverance, and the love to overcome our own demons and to face down and defeat the demons of the world, so we can bring this entire human collective into the age of love, which is where we're going and where we're headed, and it's what Christ is helping to bring into our lives now. So that is my prayer for you. God bless you, and I'll see you next time. Bye.